I made the choice right then and there, looking at the side effects. I wanted to lose weight and get serious about it. I called the doctor and said I'm not going to take the pills. He surprisingly agreed. He said if I can lose the weight, he'll agree with that.
Welcome to How I Lost It, where we learn the stories behind some of the biggest weight loss successes. I'm Marley Ficalora. Now let's begin our interview.
It's good to see you, Richard.
Nice. Yeah, good to see you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here, man. You have such an amazing story, and I'm so glad that you get to share this with so many people and inspire other people, and you already have been sharing your story. That's how I came about finding you. So first thing I want to do is I just kind of want to have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I live in Connecticut. I work at a local community college. I'm a webmaster, and part of the reason, which you'll find out, is the reason I got obese because I had an office job for much of my adult life, and it was only until 7 years ago that I started to, take my health seriously.
I want to hear about what you just said. You had this office job, right? So is that what resulted in you gaining this weight? Was it sedentary? Because so many of us, right, we sit in an office. I'm in an office currently right now.
Right.
We sit in an office because so much of our work revolves around a computer, right? From being a webmaster like you, or a digital advertiser, or marketing, or anything really involved in a computer these days. And a lot of that is sitting in a chair just like the one I'm sitting in right now. So what was it that led you to gain this weight? Was it eating habits? Was it?
It was a combination of eating habits and not exercising. But in college, I was at a healthy weight. That's because I did so much walking. My diet was terrible. My friends and I, we would go to the city, every other day probably. And we used to walk miles. We would never take the subway, just, we didn't have the money then. So we did a lot of walking, and I stayed in fairly good shape. I probably didn't start to gain weight until like a year or two after college. But then again, I was never on the skinny side, even growing up. I was not what you would call heavy, just slightly overweight, I'd say, growing up. It wasn't until my probably mid-20s they started to gain the weight.
And so what was it that you were eating that led to that weight gain? Because obviously you were active when you're younger. Your metabolism's faster when you're younger. So you can kind of get away with eating more.
Yes.
But what was it that you were eating?
So bad. I think it was at depressing times. I couldn't find a job. Trying to figure out my life after graduation. I just ate the wrong foods. I would eat McDonald's often. For example, I get 2 or 3 egg McMuffins for breakfast. Lunch I would ham and cheese or whatever. It's so different now. It's kind of funny thinking about how bad I ate. Supper, sometimes I'd have a large pizza by myself, believe it or not. And I would eat half-gallon ice cream. I really was a binge eater. Yeah, I would eat candy. If they had candy at work, a previous job I had in a newspaper, I would eat the whole bag or whole bowl of candy, whatever they had. I had no control over it, really. It just got out of control.
Yeah. So where do you think this binge eating stemmed from, and this fast food eating came from? Or was it a lack of time? Was it societal pressure?
Yeah, I think it was a lack of time. I didn't prepare my meals. I wasn't educated. I just I thought it was an easy, convenient way to eat, which is why I think a lot of people end up choosing McDonald's. But as I discover and you discover, it's not that hard to be plant-based. I find it easier, actually.
Absolutely.
Much more fun.
And so what were your parents feeding you as a child? What was your parents' diet? 'Cause I think that's always important to know.
Yeah, my mom actually did include salads with each meal. So I did like vegetables, but I just didn't eat enough of them. She grew up at a time where everybody thought you had to have meat with every meal, and so she would serve things like steak or chicken. But even as a kid, looking back, I think I had vegan tendencies, but I didn't really act on it. I wouldn't eat certain foods because they would remind me of even like cartoon characters when I was little. Like, if they serve duck, I would think of Daffy Duck, and I don't want to eat a duck. And just things like that growing up. And when my dad took me fishing, I remember feeling bad for the fish, you know, things like that. So I think I always was sort of a vegan, but never acted on it.
Yeah, you always were compassionate. You could always didn't want to
Yeah,
cause suffering or pain. Wow.
exactly.
So you ate salads, which is great. A lot of people aren't even having the opportunity as a kid to get that many vegetables in their diet.
Right.
But I think, a little bit, older generations, they do have the home cooked meals prior to World War II, and the industrialization of our food,
Exactly.
and the fast food rise of our fast food economy. People were cooking a lot more. Now, were they cooking the best things? Not necessarily, but
Right.
they were cooking more, which meant more fruits and vegetables, meant more sides. At least it meant an opportunity to get some real food. So that's great that you had those salads, even though it was oftentimes supplemented with things maybe cooked in butter, maybe cooked in oil.
Exactly.
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
it's not all healthy, of course.
yeah,
And there was desserts around, and I would eat ice cream even back then, and there was soda around, and yeah, that's the other thing. I used to drink soda way too much when I was heavy. Diet soda too. It is true what they say that diet soda does not cause weight loss. You're not gonna lose weight by drinking that. Um, so I just gave up all that processed foods and diet sodas, and the first thing to go was red meat back in 2012. Um, should I tell you why I started losing weight?
yeah.
Or
I definitely want to hear that as well. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out the whole picture, how we got to
yeah,
where you got to that point, because I always want
yeah,
to talk about that as well, the aha moment, the epiphany.
right,
What made you
right.
make that change? What made you make that switch? Because you look great right now, right? And people, I'm
Yeah,
sure, are really excited to get to the point that you're at now, and you have reached that point of health and happiness that you're able to share. I always say it all the time, is once you've it's funny because my girlfriend, she works for Delta Airlines and she's a flight attendant, and all the
right,
time on the airplanes they always say, make sure you put your mask on before assisting others. And I say the same thing with weight loss. I say the same thing with eating healthy or getting healthy. Is take care of yourself first, right? Make sure you're at a
exactly,
right. Make sure you're at a position where you're mentally and physically happy and healthy,
right.
and then go tell other people, and then go help other people. But make sure you take
I
care of yourself
totally agree.
first.
Totally agree.
So that's why I was trying to learn, because I know so many people are in the position that you used to be, and I know it's hard to look at pictures from the past. And I saw you commented on one of them, where I said, I can't believe that was even me, and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
and
Well,
it,
I don't expect to see that fat person anymore. I mean, it took a long time, but yeah, I'm so used to the way I look now in the mirror that just I can't believe I look like that.
yeah, but it took a lot of work, and I think the great
It
thing
did.
is that we can use your story to help other people, because a lot of people are in a similar situation as you are, and they're looking for answers. There's so much more information now on the internet than we've ever had before, but so much more misinformation as well,
Right.
where they're trying to sell you something, a fad, a
Yeah.
pill,
Oh,
right?
like keto diet, for example.
Yeah,
You heard
exactly.
about that?
So there's all these quick um, get healthy quick schemes, but it's
Yeah,
not it's
it's
not that
all about
simple.
yeah, it's all about lose weight quick, and they don't think about health first,
Yeah,
ever. All the commercials you see on TV or whatever, it's all about lose weight. I don't know why they never talk about health.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're going to college. You graduated from college. You were eating not the healthiest diet in college, but you were very active, which is great. You were
yeah,
exercising. You were walking like crazy, going to the subways.
yeah,
And then after college, mid-20s, that's when you started to put on the pounds, and that's when you were eating at
yeah.
McDonald's, right? It was a
Right.
tough time. I think we all have gone through the post-college, oh man, where do I get my job?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Where do I start to get my income? Where do I have to start taking care of myself, to start raising a family? Those sorts of things that are societal pressures that come upon us, and it's stressful, and it's a time that most people gain weight after college, and
Yeah,
so that started to occur for you, and then you started to make the switch. So let's talk about that. What was the moment? What was like sometimes it's a collection of
yeah,
moments. Sometimes it's a few things that happen. But what were those things that caused you to say enough is enough? It's time to switch.
right. Well, before I say that, let me say that I was a yo-yo dieter for
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. I think that's an important
and
thing to talk about as
I would
well.
try fad diets, but I never would take it serious enough, and I'd lose a little weight, but it never stuck. which is to bring me back to today. I can't believe I kept the weight off. Looking at my history, I would exercise and not change my diet much. And you can't exercise away a bad diet. It just doesn't work. I'm living proof. I've tried it for years, and I just I do believe that health. You have to think about health first, like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my experience with yo-yo dieting. So by the time I had to have a physical in 2012 in January, this was a big eye-opener for me. I had already known in the back of my mind that I was obese. I stopped weighing myself when I was 345 pounds, but I was definitely getting heavier, and I didn't change anything for a couple of years, so I probably was close to 400 for all I know.
Wow.
But anyway, so I had my physical. This was forced upon me because the state required it. I worked for the state of Connecticut, and it was a new requirement for our unions. So I did my physical, and the doctor confirmed I was morbidly obese. And then he told me something that I don't know why I was surprised about it because I wasn't taking care of myself, but he told me I was pretty hypertensive. And he gave me another appointment and said, I might have to go on meds at the next appointment if it's not improved. And my cholesterol was high too, but he wasn't as worried about that either. But my blood sugar was probably a little bit high, but I think I was eating healthier when I was seeing the doctor in anticipation of maybe my numbers won't be as bad. But anyway, so by the second appointment with him, my blood pressure was still high, probably like 140 or 150 over 100 or something. And he said he's going to put me on meds. So I really didn't want to go on medication. My parents, they're both heavily, medicated. Well, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but they're on a ton of pills.
Yeah.
My mom, not so much now. That's the story I'll get to after she's improved her health as well. But my dad, he's probably on 10 different meds. And my stepmom, she's the same way. They take one pill and then they'll take another pill to cover the side effects of that first pill. And it goes on and on. So I picked up the prescription that he wrote out, and I was looking at the side effect, and I thought, I don't want to go through this. I thought, this is ridiculous. I'll probably be on it for life if I start it now. So I made the choice right then and there, looking at the side effects. I wanted to lose weight and get serious about it. I called the doctor and said, I'm not going to take the pills. And he surprisingly agreed. He said, if I can lose the weight, he'll agree with that. So that really was the start of my health journey.
Wow. So it was the fact that your parents were taking all these medications and you just didn't want to follow those footsteps. Exactly. That was the aha moment. That was the epiphany.
Yeah. So I knew there had to be a better way. I knew that, you didn't... I remember reading somewhere that you don't have to take medication, lifestyle can improve it. I remember reading it somewhere, but I didn't know where back then. And I started to research. And I gotta say, the internet was my best friend back then because I learned so much information. I know there's a lot of bad information out there too, but from reputable doctors. I think I was probably 70% plant-based in 2012. I always tell everybody I wished I was completely plant-based back then, but I did eat heavy vegetables and fruit, and that was a big part of my getting healthier that year. And another big part, it's kind of like show and tell, I guess I brought a few things.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dr. Furman's book. I'm sure you're familiar with Dr.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I saw an episode of when he was on Dr. Oz back in 2012, and that transformed my life. His G-bomb foods, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. I still eat those every day. I mean, I eat a lot of variety of foods, but still somehow those are my go-to foods, incorporated with other veggies and fruit. But that really changed my life. I bought his book right after that, and I bought several of his books, watched his videos. I just he was an important part of my weight loss.
Wow. And so can we talk really quickly, and that's amazing. There's so many plant-based doctors. If you haven't checked them out, for anyone that's listening to this after
Right.
this or is watching this currently, we've got Dr. Furman, we've got Dr. McDougall, we've got Dr. Esselstyn, we've got
Dr. Greger.
Dr. Greger, Dr. Campbell. There's a lot of plant-based doctors, and I'm sure there's many more that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
And a lot of other doctors, just in general, are making a move towards recommending healthier diet, eating plant-based, eating more fruits and vegetables.
Sure.
So it's been an amazing change. The amount of messages I get every single day from people saying that their doctor recommended that they do what you did. They said, here's your choice A is to take these pills, and choice B is to change your lifestyle and eat healthier. And
That's
I think
it's
amazing.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, definitely a lot in the last
year. I think also
year.
it depends on where you live, because I know LA, there's a lot more vegans out there.
Yeah, but this is people. So most people that follow me are actually from all over the country, from Alabama to Mississippi to Texas to all of the majority of people that are actually probably watching this and are going to listen to this aren't even from California or Los Angeles. They're just people trying to live a better, healthier life. It's really what it comes down to. It's not really about being a niche or being in a group or being associated with anything. It's just making life a little bit easier. It's just going through what you went through, right? Like having that aha moment, having that epiphany, waking up one day and saying, I can't do this anymore. This is what my parents did. This is what maybe a brother or a sister or someone, family member, usually a family member is what triggers it, or something happens to you, like you have a heart attack, you have a stroke, and you get a second chance, right? And it's like, well, what do you do with that second chance? Do you make the most of it? Because it really is such a blessing to be here and be alive and have the opportunity to even just be able to live, right? So.
And the thing is also, besides the fact that my parents were on meds, I had diabetes to worry about. That was one of the reasons I avoided the doctor. I didn't want to hear that I was diabetic. And, it's heavily on my mom's side, and it's on my dad's side as well. And if I stayed heavy much longer, I know I would have been diabetic, because my blood sugar was borderline diabetic when I saw the doctor.
Wow.
So I was definitely headed in that direction. And I knew there had to be a better way.
Yeah. So can we talk about some of the yo-yo dieting really quickly? I just want to hear some of the things that you've tried, because there are a lot of people out there trying a lot of diets, and there are a lot of people yo-yoing. And yo-yo dieting, of course, is extremely dangerous for your health. So can we talk about some of the diets that you tried during that time before you were recommended to take those pills?
Well, I tried a low carb thing for a while. I didn't like it. I never stayed on long either. Maybe a month or two. High protein diets. There were. I never tried the Atkins diet though. That one always seemed too extreme to me.
Yeah.
But any diet that I read about, I thought maybe I'll try this, and never really took it serious. And I would try it for a little while, and back to my old habits again. So unfortunately, when I say yo-yo dieting, it wasn't really a serious effort back then. Maybe I lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds, but I gain it right back. So I never really got to my college weight until I took my weight loss serious.
Yeah. And I think that happens so often with the yo-yo dieting, is that people don't go fully into any of the diets, because it's more than just the diet, right? It's got to be a mental change. It's got to be
it has to be a lifestyle.
It has to be a lifestyle. It has to be, you have to commit to this. You have to do this for yourself. And if you're just doing it to lose weight quick, or you're just doing it because you want the results like tomorrow or overnight, it's not going to work, because you haven't changed your habits.
It seems like you're destined to gain the weight back if you're just doing it for weight loss. If you don't care about your health, then you're going to eat the wrong foods again. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, you got to change the habits. If you don't replace bad habits with good habits, the bad habits will come back. And if the bad habits come back, the same exact reason why you gained that weight in the first place will occur again. And
Exactly.
And that's a scary thing. So let's talk about the time after you visited the doctor. So now you've been to this doctor. He's saying you have a choice. You either have to either take these pills, or you can do what you recommended yourself. You said, I'm going to lose this weight. That's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So so what did you do? What did you start eating? What was that next day? I know you saw Dr. Furman on
Yeah.
Dr.
Well,
Oz.
I
But
also
what was next?
say that my doctor recommended Weight Watchers,
Yeah.
and I'm the type of person who'd rather follow my own plan. So I ignored him, and I went to what was a valuable tool for me, the internet. I looked up. I don't know how I stumbled upon plant-based foods. It might have been because I saw Dr. Furman on TV, but yeah, I probably just researched after that. But the more I read, the more I knew plants were the way to go. It's just too many health benefits. And the first year was all about getting my blood pressure down. So I would research what foods do lower blood pressure. And of course, every food that I came upon was either a vegetable or a fruit. So that got me thinking, maybe there's something to it. So, I remember reading articles, pomegranates help lower blood pressure, so I'd start buying them. That was the first time I ever even heard of the fruit. So, I tried so many new foods in 2012. So many things I never heard of, like bok choy, Swiss chard, and all these foods. And I found out that I loved the taste of all these foods too. And so it was easy giving up the bad food as I was starting to crave the healthier foods.
Yeah. How long did it take you before you were able to change those cravings? Before you started to say, you know what, I don't miss the McDonald's in the morning. Now I'm starting to go for these pomegranates, which are new to my life.
Yeah, it wasn't cut off just like that. It was
Yeah.
gradual steps. I gave up foods in phases. Like first it was aspartame. I remember giving that up early in 2012. Then I would give up red meat. I think that was next. Uh, I still ate what I thought was healthier things at McDonald's, but not as much. I would get like a chicken wrap without the bread. Um, but still, I wanted to be in top shape. I was getting healthier, but still, everything I read pointed to plants, and so yeah, it was an adjustment at first. I would probably take a week or two to get used to being without certain foods, but once I was past the first week or two, I never had the craving since for each time I gave something up.
Wow. Yeah, it is amazing how much your taste buds change, isn't it? Looking back on it, you
It
probably
is.
would have never thought that.
It's true what they say that your taste buds adjust after you start eating healthy.
Yeah, it really is true. But you got to make it past those 2 to 3 weeks in order for that to happen.
Yeah, you have to have patience, I guess, to hang in there, or have a reason to hang in there. And my reason was I wanted to get healthy. So I think that's the reason I kept going.
So can you walk us through, I know you're saying you weren't 100% plant-based when you were losing this weight, but can you walk us through kind of what was your daily routine? And I know you were eliminating food, so it would change over the course of weeks and months and
Yeah,
years. But can you just tell us, like, what was a breakfast like during
sure.
that time of weight loss?
Yeah, well, a lot of these foods I'm ashamed to say
That's
that.
okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, but back then, I would have eggs if it was a healthier alternative. I would add some vegetables on top. Um, I still eat peanut butter. I incorporated peanut butter back then. No salt, no sugar, but just plain peanuts. But I found a healthy, I guess you can call it a cracker, Susie thin cakes. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I've never heard of those.
It's very, it's little salt. It's like three ingredients, and that's what I use for my peanut butter snacks. So I eat a lot of peanut butter and on these thin cakes. For lunch, I still would eat like Subway or something. Go to Subway and get a sandwich. Um, but I would also load it with veggies. So I think that helped a lot. But I did change the kind of animal products I was having. It was mostly white meat. Um, I gave up. I also gave up bacon and ham at the time too, with red meat. The thing is, for me, I know you hear a lot of people say the bacon, they can't give up bacon. I was never a big fan of bacon anyway, so that was easy for me to give up. Um, but yeah, I was a big fan of beef, so that was hard for the first week or two. But so anyway, so I had eggs for breakfast, lunch, some kind of Subway thing, and for dinner I would have a huge salad, courtesy of Dr. Furman's book. And I still have a huge salad every day, at least one, sometimes two. And that would fill me up, and I never have a problem where I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do eat probably every 2, 3 hours, maybe a small snack, because I am very active, and I stay active at the gym, so I'll make sure I eat something after the gym. But so even back in 2012, there was a lot of healthier foods I was eating, even though there's still a lot of bad foods too. But,
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is, I always say this, it's perfection, right? So many people, when they make a change in anything, if it's keto, if it's plant-based, if it's vegan, if it's vegetarian, whatever diet that they choose, or whatever course that they take, it is this seeking perfection that makes it really hard. Whenever you try to be
yeah.
perfect, you're going to fail, and as soon as you fail, you're going to quit, and as soon as you quit, you're not going to get the results that you're seeking. So it was
I'm glad
okay.
you said that, because that's why I think it worked for me, because I let myself fail, and right now my diet, I think, is I eat cleaner than anybody I know.
Yeah.
I never cheat. I have no desire for those bad foods anymore, and I am 100% plant-based, and I think it's because of what you said, that I didn't strive to be perfect. It just happens now that I crave those foods, and so I let myself be imperfect about it back then, which I think helped me in the long run.
Yeah, you did it your way, which is
Yeah,
amazing. And now you've come, to seek. Now you've come to this 100% plant-based. You're eating amazing. You're feeling amazing. But you got there by incorporating some of the other stuff, and that's okay. Some people can do it cold turkey, right? Some people tomorrow snap their fingers. They're
right.
100% plant-based for the rest of their life. They're glowing. They're losing weight. They're living amazing, and that's great for them.
It
Some
is.
people, it might take them 10 years. But
Right.
that's okay as well. It's just, you got to find your process. It's got to be a mental change. It's got to be a
Oh, it
commitment to
has to.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
because if you're committed to it, like you had that, and that's why I always talk about the aha and the epiphany. Because what was that moment that really struck a chord inside your body? What was it that was like that made you so adamant and so committed to making the shift? Because it's hard. Anyone who says like to lose weight is easy,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing, because
Yeah.
it's not any
It is.
change
It is.
is hard, and so it's like it's got to be something deep down inside you that's telling you, like your parents having taken
Yeah.
all these pills, seeing
It's
that.
definitely a fear. I didn't want to go down that road where I'd be unhealthy, and I didn't want to be dependent on that. So that really was a big thing for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just wanted to. I also, another thing is, I want to prove to my dad that he was wrong. He always thought that his destiny, that I'm bound to have the aches and pains he has, and wait till I get to his age. And he still says that today. And I want to prove that when I'm his age, I'm still going to the gym, I'm still eating healthy, I'm still feeling great, and it's almost like something to prove.
yeah. And I think it's so cool that you're doing that, because so many people, they always say, they look back on their younger years, they look back on their past, and they say those were the best years of my life. But why do they have to be? Why can't your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, even your 100s, why can't you live a happy, healthy life?
Exactly.
Why does there have to be so many of these diseases like Alzheimer's and arthritis?
Yeah.
And why do the aches and pains come? Why can't we live gracefully as we
Yeah.
get older?
Right.
Yeah.
And I look at bodybuilders. I don't know if you're familiar with Ernestine Shepherd.
I'm,
She's the oldest competitive woman bodybuilder, and people like that really amaze me. And I think that you never stop learning, and you never you should never stop being fit.
Yeah.
So when I see people like that, it makes me think, what a future I could have. It's not going to end,
Yeah.
a certain, So, it's funny. I showed my stepmom that video of Ernestine, and she just thought it was unnatural, and I was totally surprised by her reaction. She thinks people should act their age, and but me, I have a different mindset.
Yeah, well, I've always thought it was so interesting. That's a really good point that you just made. When you walk down the street and you're eating an apple, people look at you weird. It has become weird to eat an apple or an orange. When you're a kid and you're in school and you pull out a lunchbox, and that lunchbox is filled with a banana, an apple, and an orange, and the other kids have hamburgers and pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
You're looked at differently. You're looked at as an outsider. You're looked at as strange for eating fruits and vegetables, for eating the things you're supposed to eat, for eating healthy, for giving yourself a chance to succeed in school.
I witnessed that, what you're talking about, in the lunchroom. Other kids, we would all stare at them, the few kids that had fruit, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's, you feel like an outcast somehow.
Yeah.
Like you don't fit in, but I do hope that's shifting now.
Yeah, and it happens in the office, in the workplace as well.
It does. I'm the only one that eats healthy in my office. If they're watching, I'm sure they do great.
Yeah.
There's a big joke, if they're offering cake or something, they already know I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
They'll joke, oh, and I'm going to ask you, I know. So I'm probably the only one who's eating healthy.
Yeah, and at first people will say like, oh, come on, just take a bite or try some. But the amazing thing is people start to respect you after a while. They start to see.
They do. Yeah. That's why when I became plant-based, I was sort of reluctant to tell people, for fear of their reaction. But now I'm so proud to tell anybody. That's why I'm wearing this shirt now. I wear it at the gym. I love advertising because I want other people to know. That's why I share my story on the internet and do these videos. Because, I know now that people respect that I lost the weight. And I don't think they react. I think if somebody didn't lose the weight and they said they were going vegan, they get a lot of more negative reactions. If they were already a normal weight, but they can see somebody like me that it worked. So I think it's been a much more positive experience than some people.
Yeah, well, you've inspired them too, because even if it takes them a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to do it, they're going to do it when they see you every day thriving. They see you every day smiling. They see you so passionate about this because it did give you your life back. So,
Exactly.
And it doesn't happen like right away. It's not like tomorrow you walk into the office, you're in shape, and everyone sees you in shape, and they're all like, "Whoa!"
This is a cool process.
Yeah, it takes time.
But I got to say that was a weird experience for me. When I first was losing the weight, I wasn't used to the attention, and I would downplay how much weight I lost. Looking back, I'd say, "Oh, it's only like 40 pounds." Oh, you lost so much weight. And then eventually it got to the point where I had to admit to people because it wasn't 40 pounds. But it was a lot of people who are formerly obese. It is a very uncomfortable thing to be walking around and having everybody stare and say, "Oh my God, what'd you do?"
Yeah, because everyone wants to know, because they're in a situation where they want to do the same thing. People want to live a healthier and happier life. No one wants to be sick. No one wants to be overweight. They want to live a healthier and happier life. It's just we are surrounded by unhealthy choices, and it takes a lot of willpower and commitment in order to choose the right things.
And that's the thing for me, that I chose not to do meds. It got me thinking. I don't know, because I chose my own path. I don't understand how some people don't, do the research and they just instantly go on the meds. And I don't know what drove me to not take it. It boggles my mind that I was able to make such a shift. When you hear other people I had one person tell me, I remember at the gym a couple years ago, why did I lose the weight? And you know what he told me? That it's, oh, he would have took the pills. It's much easier. And I do think a lot of people think that way, and I'm so happy I have this mindset, but it's I still don't even know where it comes from for me, but you know.
Yeah, it comes from that moment of seeing your parents. It comes from that moment of not wanting to go through what they went through, and I think that is so essential. We develop habits, we develop behaviors, and we learn from people around us. And family members are so important to us, right? Your mom, your dad, no matter what they say or what they do, they're still the most important people in your life. They're the people that are always there. You know, you get fired from a job, you go to a new school, your parents are you're still stuck with them, right? You break up from a relationship, mom and dad are still there.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
so mom and dad and your kids and your grandkids and all those people around you, or your significant others, your siblings, they all influence your life in a huge way. So they can influence it in a positive way without even realizing it, right? They could be doing something that you see is hurting them and harming them, and you don't want that same pain. You don't want that same suffering. And that
Right.
ends up impacting you in a positive way without them even realizing it.
Sure.
So, so that
And
is,
I gotta say, it impacted my mom as well because
yeah.
she's gotten healthier. She's not entirely plant-based, but she is, I'd say probably 80% maybe.
Wow.
And the doctor hasn't actually said it yet, but she's essentially reversed her diabetes. I mean, her blood sugar is testing like in the 80s and 90s frequently. So, yeah, I'd like to think that I had a positive influence on her, but my dad, not so much, and my stepmom, they have a long way to go.
That's
But
okay.
I do, and my friends, I'm noticing, you know, they're cutting down on meat, they'll tell me, or they're making changes. So I do think just by getting my message out there that you know, people are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations on having your mom have that huge success. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I love inspiring people, and
Yeah.
when I hear stories like that, you know, and to think that I was possibly a part of it, it just you know, it's an amazing feeling, and
Yeah.
that's why I would like to help more people, which is why you know, I agree to do the videos. You know, I never would have imagined doing videos years ago. I just camera shy, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially being obese, I wouldn't have done it ever, yeah. But yeah, I think it's important to get the message out there, and I always tell people if I can do it, I know they can do it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not magic. You just gotta eat what's healthy, and that's plants and fruit, and you know, eliminate the bad foods. If you you know, if you have trouble giving up meat, just drastically cut down. Dr. Furman in his book, you know, I consider him a plant-based doctor, but he does say if somebody wants some kind of animal protein they could use as like some kind of seasoning, you know, think of it as just a small portion. So if somebody has trouble giving up their meat, I think Dr. Furman is a great place to start because gradually you'll realize that you know miss those foods as you know gradually give them up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, everyone's got their own pace. Everyone's got their own way of doing this. But it's got to be your journey. It's got to be your commitment. But you got to really believe it. And if it takes
And
doing
as long as they
research,
can get their foot in the door, you know, and just incorporating more veggies in their diet,
yeah,
trying new foods. That's what worked for me. I found so many foods that I love now that I never would have tried prior to 2012. There's so many foods I just ignored in the store. You know, broccoli or cauliflower, kale. I never would have tried any of those foods prior to getting healthy. But I'm so glad I did because you know, I discovered so many new foods and new ways to eat.
yeah,
And I'm still learning. If I see a food in the store that I never heard of, I instantly buy it. If, you know, as long as it's a vegetable. If it's meat, I won't bother. But yeah. But anyway, I'm still learning. I think everybody they should keep in mind that it's a learning process always. you know, once you reach your goal, there's always new goals to do.
Yeah. Yeah, there are thousands and thousands of fruits and vegetables. There are thousands and thousands of promises.
There are.
So to be able to eat them all would be pretty amazing, pretty astounding. So
That's I would love to do that. But
yeah.
I don't even know if it's possible, but yeah.
But the amazing thing is that they all have these unique flavors, right? They're flavors that are, especially the fruits, they burst in your mouth with sweetness. They're
Exactly.
so delicious. It's almost like, how is this not made by man? You know, I mean, how is this not processed?
Exactly.
How is this not
it's
a
better
candy?
than candy now. I don't crave candy.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
Fruit is so much sweeter and so much more delicious than candy.
it is.
It's not even a
Yeah.
comparison anymore. But it does take you, and a lot of people, have a hard time believing it. Like, wait, you're
Oh,
full?
they do.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time. How do you do it? They can never do that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why not? They just haven't tried.
Yeah, and you're thinking the opposite. I could never go back to eating the other stuff. I could never
Oh yeah,
eat the
totally.
oily, greasy food because it ends up tasting bad. And I know that's so mind-blowing for so many people. They just can't believe it. There's no way that a bagel with cream cheese wouldn't taste good. There's no way
Oh,
that
I get that all the time.
right?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
There's no way that birthday cake in the office isn't tasting good.
Exactly.
Well, once you do this, once your taste buds reset, once you start eating the food you're supposed to eat, the food that was made from the earth, the stuff that we were designed to eat,
Yeah.
your taste buds change, your cravings change, your body rewards you, your mind rewards you. It changes. It's natural. It's just what happens. It's harder to
Yeah.
explain it to someone than
You
actually
me
doing.
think about something that I often hear. That I have a willpower of steel. That like it takes so much willpower, but if you don't crave something, is it really that much willpower to not eat something if you're not craving it?
No, it's so easy, but you got to get past that point. You got to get past that
Well,
point.
yeah, you have to readjust your taste buds.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. So the hardest thing is really just figuring it out, right? Like how you figure it out. If it's going through yo-yo dieting and then going to a doctor, if it's seeing a magazine article, if it's seeing a video on Dr. Oz of a plant-based doctor, it's figuring it out. How do you have that aha moment? How do you have that epiphany before it's too late, right? Because a lot of people, unfortunately, it happens too late, and we have the highest rate of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes ever recorded, and there's more adolescents pre-diabetic and diabetic than we've ever seen before, and that's a foodborne illness, and it's a question of how do we start to get people to prevent this before it happens? How do we get people to not be in the hospital beds? How do we get people to not have trouble walking? How do we get people to not get the diagnosis or take the pills? And you have to try to get people to have an aha moment, an epiphany, or a wake-up call before that happens, even though it's never too late. Yeah. And I think that's very essential that we make that clear. It's never too late. You can be 99 years old, had triple bypass surgery, and be on a pacemaker, and you can still eat healthier. It does not matter if you're 150 or 60 or 12 years old. There's never an age that is too late or too young to start eating this way.
Yeah, I'm reading about the, on Facebook all the time. There's people like in their 80s, all of a sudden and it happens all the time. So, yeah, that's a great message to tell people. It's never too late.
Yeah. Yeah. So if your dad's listening, man, it's not too late.
Exactly.
Yeah, have him give me a call. Then we'll talk. No, I'm just kidding. I think
also there's a lot of hunters and fishermen on my dad's side of the family. So I don't think they would ever switch diets. But then again, there are people who are still hunters out there that I don't know how they do it, but some do turn vegan. But
yeah,
I don't know how that could work. I guess they're plant-based, really. But
I think people really are surprised that this is not a limited diet, right? This is not limited to a certain group of people. It's not that like, oh, because you're a hunter, you can't eat this way, right? It's not that, oh, because you're a fisher, you can't eat this way, or oh, because you're, I don't know, whatever they say,
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone in any profession wants to and can be healthy, and this is the way you get healthy.
Exactly.
It's just a fact. You want to get healthy. You want to feel great. You want to smile. You want to get out of bed a little bit easier. You want to not take those, all those things you have to take in order to stay afloat. Then you got to eat the real food. And it doesn't matter if you're the most macho man in the world, or if you're not. It doesn't matter if you're, from a meat and potato family or not. What really matters is, do you want to take care of your health? Do you want to put a smile on your face? Do you want to live a little bit longer? And that
Right.
really comes down to eating real food. So I know I always hear this all as well. People always say to me, but it's my culture. Well, if
Yes.
your
I bet
culture
you.
is riddled in obesity and disease, then your culture needs to change.
Yeah, the big one out here is there's a lot of Italians where I live, and I'm Italian. That's not that's not part of their culture. But the thing
Yeah.
is, I'm part Italian, I did it. I mean, I'm also Irish and other things. But anyway, you have to change to the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, our ancestors primarily ate plants, and meat was more of a luxury. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. In this modern society, we're slaughtering billions of animals probably a year. And, you know, back in the 1800s, obviously there wasn't much meat around because there were fewer animals. So people were eating a lot more plants. And I don't think people today realize that, the ones that are resistant. And, if they look at what their ancestors were really eating, they should try to mimic them instead of, blaming what supposedly their culture was.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So you lost 150 pounds, right? And
Yeah.
And when you were doing that, just to go back to this, I think it's so amazing and so incredible, and I want to really make sure everyone gets the full story. So you ate the breakfast, you ate the lunch and the dinner, and you gave us a really good idea. You're eating salads for dinner, right?
Yeah.
Lunch you were still eating sandwiches, but breakfast you were eating eggs, but still a lot of veggies. You were very veggie heavy,
Yeah.
which was giving you the
Yeah, I
fiber,
was.
keeping you full. I'm sure you were full throughout the day, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And so you were eating that way, and you were slowly weaning off of, certain things at a time, transitioning, okay, I'll get rid of this for 2 weeks until my taste buds change. Okay, I'll get rid of this for 2 weeks. Systematically eliminating until you, got down to eating just plants.
Mhm.
So
Right.
what was the timeline for the weight loss? Like how many weeks, how many
Yeah.
months, how many years did it take to get
I
to that
lost
number?
120 pounds the first year. And gradually, I don't know how long it took me to lose the other 30, but, that was over time. But 120 was the first year. And I did exercise a lot too. That's the thing. As I was getting lighter, I found I had more energy too. So I was using the treadmill sometimes an hour at a time as I was losing weight because my knees felt better. I didn't have the aches and pains that I had prior to losing weight. And I think I was pre-diabetic, although I can prove it because I had neuropathy in my feet. I remember how I get random pains in my feet and tingling sensations in my feet, and all that went away during that first year. Even though I was eating some bad foods too, but the heavy vegetables and fruit, I really think saved me and helped give me the energy to work out like a maniac, really, the first year.
Yeah. And so you lost that weight. You 125 pounds in 1 year, which is incredible. Incredible. So congratulations on doing that. And now you've kept it off. Now you're whole food, plant-based, right? You're eating real food.
Yeah.
You're eating. So what's a
Right.
day in the life of Richard now? What is your?
Well, before I get to that, 'cause I kind of wanted to share why I went plant-based.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Talk about
Yeah.
why you went
Well, I
plant-based.
also consider myself vegan now too.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that as
But
well.
yeah, when I was when I lost the weight, I had a lot of problem with skin, especially in my belly.
Yeah.
In my arms. I wanted to build muscle behind the skin. So my big thing was doing strength training. So it really started focusing on that probably like 2014, 2015. And I had a trainer who told me I should have 200 grams of protein. He was telling me to have whey protein powder. And I tried whey. Thank God I didn't like it. I gave it a try like once or twice. And thank God it gave me issues with my stomach. Because I can't imagine if I went down that road what I'd be like. So I found a plant-based protein powder, which was healthier, but somewhere in the back of my mind I knew that protein wasn't you didn't need the heavy protein to build muscle. And I got a new doctor at that point. I think it was in 2015 or 2016. And this doctor, it wasn't my doing, but he actually turned out to be mostly plant-based himself. And he told me to 200 grams of protein a day is dangerous. And he says I'm very lucky that my liver and kidneys weren't affected because he checked my lab work, and so it was okay. So after that, I did more research on my friend the internet again, and I came across. I'm just going to show these books. Robert Cheek.
Oh, cool.
And Robert Cheek, he had this workout journal, and it was for 13 weeks long. So September 6th, I remember the day exactly, September 6th, 2016, that was the last time I had chicken for dinner. I decided right then and there I was going to try plant-based for 13 weeks. Because I thought if this guy can do it, and he wrote a book on how to build muscle without, without any kind of animal products at all, I can do it too. So I was only going to do it for 13 weeks. But by the time the 13 weeks came up, I loved it so much, and I was getting more and more compassion for animals. And I realized that I felt great. I don't need these foods. It's like an epiphany. All of a sudden I realized that what do I need those animal products for? The minimal amount that I was eating, because I had so much energy. I was working out better than I ever did during those 13 weeks prior to that. And I was building more muscle. So that was it. After the 13 weeks, I never ever went back to animal products.
Wow. That's amazing. And it's so cool that you set a time frame, but that time frame didn't limit you, because a lot of people, they'll set a goal, a time, 1 month, 2 months, I'm going to do this for 1 year. And then after that time expires, like you had thought, you would just, that's it, you would be done.
Yeah,
but
and I think challenges work when you challenge yourself, because prior to doing the shredded challenge, I would do week-long vegan challenges and blog about that, how I felt. First vegan challenge I did wasn't really vegan, I guess, because I ended up having some yogurt or something. But it got easier each time I would do a challenge. And then when I went to the shredded challenge, I was thinking, oh, why not try a longer challenge? I honestly never thought I would stick with it.
Yeah.
So 13 weeks, though, that really was enough time for me to realize that I don't ever want to go back to my old way of eating.
And so how many years have you been eating whole food plant-based?
Since September 6, 2016, so almost 2.5 years now.
Wow. That's awesome. Congratulations, man.
I have no regrets at all, as you can tell.
And so let's talk about, because I think this is really cool, because let's talk about getting stronger, because I noticed this as well. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with everything that I've done, but I did the Pro Section Challenge where I was eating out of only the Pro Section of the grocery store. And I eat only out of the Pro Section of the grocery store. I'm sure they're very tired.
Yeah, I just saw your video on the doctors that you posted. That was a great video.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so that is just eating out of the Pro Section, only eating fruits and vegetables, sticking only to that section. So a whole food plant-based diet, essentially, but no bread, no pasta, because it's just fruits and vegetables. Right. And the first few months, I don't know if everyone knows this, but the first few months that I was doing it, I was in the gym every single day. So for 90 straight days, I was in the gym every single day. And I was in the produce section every single day for the first 90 days. I lost 20 pounds, but more so than losing the 20 pounds was I got so cut. I got so in the physical fitness. I was the most physically fit I've been in my life, and I've been an athlete, and everything that I would have learned or thought in college playing sports, in high school playing competitive football, basketball, and all these sports. I was a big sports guy. And was always like very excelling and did very well in sports. And no way would I have ever thought that I could eat only fruits and vegetables.
I know. Yeah,
and
me too.
And I would gain. I would get stronger. I would lift more. I would have more energy. I was
exactly
so amazed. I didn't take any protein powders. I didn't take any.
Me neither. I gave it all up.
All of it. I gave it all up. I said, you know what? I'm just going to eat fruits and vegetables. And I did it, and losing the weight was great. I didn't even know I was going to lose weight. I didn't go into it thinking I was going to lose weight. I knew that I figured I might lose some, but it came out of my face, it came out of my hands, it came out of places I didn't even think I could lose weight. But I got stronger. I was lifting more. I set my personal best in lifting 90 days after only eating out of the produce section, and it was,
I believe it. Yeah.
it was mind blowing for me, and it made me realize really quickly everything we were told, everything we are sold,
Yep.
for the most part, is a lie. It is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think of, I go to the gym and I see people drinking these protein shakes or the protein powder after their workout. And I think to myself, what are they doing? Why are they wasting so much money? Yeah. And I was watching some of your videos, and you're proving you could buy foods less than $10 a day. Yeah. And here they are wasting so much money on protein powders that is doing absolutely nothing for them. They can get the same kind of results if they just eat clean. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. As much as we spread that message around, I still see a lot of people doing the protein shakes, and I don't think they believe the damage they could do.
Yeah, oil in the pan, protein shakes at the gym.
Yep.
We don't know why we do it, but we do it because it was advertised to us. It was told to us. It was everyone else is doing it. It was a big business. Yeah.
Every commercial you'll see on TV is talking about protein-heavy foods. This has like 30 grams of protein. Like that's supposed to be the best food in the world.
Yeah, and every picture you see of someone exercising, I'm sure if you went on Google and you typed in like exercise or workout, I guarantee you someone's got one of those little bottles, those little shakers.
Oh yeah.
Filled with protein powder. It's like they made those shakers almost symbolic of working out. They made it so that you couldn't think workout without a protein shake. Where's your shake? Are you pre-shaking? Are you after shaking? Right? Are you?
I do bring a shake, but I make my own smoothie.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, people think I have protein shakes in there or not, but that's what I do is smoothies.
Yeah, people would always ask me, especially people still ask me all the time, like, what are you eating, or what's your diet, or what are you doing? I get that question a million times when I'm at the produce section, even when I see friends or family. I'm sure you get it a million times as well.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? What magical thing are you doing that's giving you these results? And when I tell them, I'm just eating fruits and vegetables, and they're like, wait, what? I'm just eating fruit. Yeah. So what supplements do you take? So what do you get at GNC? So what do you get at and I'm like, guys, I just eat fruits and vegetables. And
they still believe the supplements. That's what I get through. What supplements do you take?
Yeah, what supplements do you take?
B12, but I'm not taking any protein supplements.
Yeah, just a little bit. I just take a one a day vitamin, which has the B12 in it. And I think everyone should take a vitamin, whatever diet they're on. Most people are nutritionally deficient in some way or shape or form, unless you're really perfect on your diet. So, yeah, it's amazing, the protein shakes, the protein powders. I get asked about that. So many protein shake companies and protein powder companies approach me all the time because I have, the 114,000, I think it's 115,000 people following me now. So they see this huge opportunity. Look at this guy who's really in shape and fit and talks about health, and maybe we can get him to sell our product. Maybe we can get him to tell people it was the protein shake that made him strong. It was the protein shake that made him fit. And I can't do it. I won't endorse or promote a product that doesn't do what it says. I don't blame you. Yeah, because it's not true. It's just a lie. And promoting that lie I would be just as bad as anyone that I see on these commercials. I always talk about that the Super Bowl commercials. You see all these mega celebrities, and they're all like Pepsi. Yum.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not drinking Pepsi. Come on, they got dietitians, right? They've got workout regimes. They are not drinking and they are not eating the food and the drinks that they are selling to millions of people. And I think that's so wrong on so many levels. But it's that money is more valuable than health.
They get paid a lot of money for those.
Yeah, but I think that's great that you don't do the protein shakes. So let's talk about now. I think we should talk about what you're eating today. Currently, you do a smoothie after the gym, which I think is great. What is your breakfast? What do you wake up and eat these days?
Pretty much just oatmeal.
Yeah,
I love steel cut oats. I do get organic. You don't have to get organic, but Steel cut oats, I put flax and chia seeds on them. The berries, banana. I still have peanut butter with no salt or sugar added, um, uh, or almond butter too. I'll make a cracker with that. The thin cakes I was telling you about. For lunch, I usually make a salad. I'll have some nuts and seeds with me, some kind of fruit. I have I usually have 2 apples a day also. I eat a lot of fruit actually. Probably apples, several bananas, um, lots of berries, probably 2 or 3 times a day. Um, which I'd like to spread that message. I don't think you can gain weight by eating too much fruit. I don't think that's possible. At least not for me, because you know, and it doesn't raise your blood sugar if you eat it in the whole form. Of course, if you're drinking the juice from it, it's a different story. But anyway, so I'll have a salad for lunch, some nuts and seeds, a snack, maybe a smoothie. I always come prepared though. At work, I'll always bring my lunch now. I make it ahead of time. For dinner, I'll have, I got an Instant Pot last year, and I'll steam some veggies, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, another big salad. You always have to have a big salad at night too. It fills me up so that I don't, have to worry about getting hungry. And I'll finish the day with more berries.
Yeah. And so I love what you talk about fruit, because so many people now are demonizing fruit or saying sugar is sugar, and I always talk about that. You can't
I can't stand that the low carb thing. They think they have to make fruit. It drives me crazy when I hear that.
Yeah, it's such misinformed and misguided decision. And it's the same thing with that. Oh, you have to have all proteins, or oh, you have to have all sugars. We cannot group food. We shouldn't group people, and we shouldn't group food. Each food has to be looked at individually. So to say that a banana is the same as refined sugar or as high fructose corn syrup is absolutely absurd.
It's insane. It really is. And I try to educate people all the time about that. I hear people at the gym all the time. They're doing a low carb thing. Once in a while, I'll try to get in the conversation. Tell them, don't they realize that they get their energy from carbs? I don't think many people realize that.
Yeah, and so I think that's so interesting. What you're eating is extremely healthy. I mean, you've definitely got it nailed. You're getting leafy greens, you're getting fruits, you're getting healthy grains with the oats.
I eat so much variety.
Yeah, and you're getting nuts and seeds. You're eating a wide variety. You're eating really healthy. And so something I want to talk about really quickly, because I think it's really important, is you now eat a diet that some people might say, and no one watching this or no one is going to listen to this. Well, maybe there will be some people, but some people might say, well, that sounds, kind of bland. But you,
I get that all the time,
right? But you, coming from eating what most people eat on the standard American diet, that McDonald's, that you used to eat those standard American foods. You used to do that. But now, comparatively, what you eat today, the flavor, just flavor alone, not the health benefits. We know the health benefits are there. You lost 150 pounds. You are a living proof example that eating more fruits and vegetables causes you to get health results, causes you to lose weight, all those good things. But let's talk about just flavor and taste alone. When you eat today, compared to the way you used to eat when you had, McDonald's and all those sorts of foods, which food do you think tastes better?
Holy, the way I eat now. Looking back, I was thinking about this a while ago. The taste of those foods, when I imagine eating them, what they tasted like, I think they all pretty much tasted the same. I mean, the sugar is very addictive. When I think about it, you have such a high from the sugar. That's all I think about is it really kind of all tasted the same. It wasn't. I didn't experience the flavor as I am now, if that makes sense. It if looking back, when I imagine eating those foods, I really don't think it was as flavorful as I thought. I think it was more of a mind thing. I think we're thinking it tastes good or something. I don't know. But to me, I don't think those foods taste good at all, looking back.
Yeah. It's amazing because I'm the same way. I love the food I eat. I think it's so flavorful. It's so delicious. And I think it's better than anything I've ever eaten in my life. And I had a feeling that you felt the same way.
Definitely.
Because it's just the honest truth. It just tastes better. And it's harder to explain because it is a mental thing. It is the advertisements of the Ronald McDonald advertisements, the Carl's Jr. advertisement with the pretty girl, like, ooh, this is so tasty. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is so delicious. You're always told the comfort food, which is a very big pet peeve of mine when people call unhealthy food comforting, because there's nothing comforting about being sick. There's nothing comforting about taking medications. Yeah. But we have this mental thought that the food tastes better. But you nailed it when you said it all tastes the same, because it is just oil, sugar, and salt.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's making it addictive too.
Yeah. And not only that, but not only does it taste all the same, it all looks the same. It all is that tan color. All of it. You put a burger and pizza and French fries and I don't know, whatever else you can think of, bagels, it all looks the same. It's tons of refined and processed grains. It's tons of refined and processed sugars. It's tons of refined and processed fats like oils and salt.
To me it's fake foods. That's the way I think of it now.
It's fake foods. It's trying to trick your taste buds, but luckily, we are very lucky that we as a society, we as a human race have not figured out how to make food taste as good as Mother Nature, as, you know,
there's no way we could.
The greater good than us, the being in the sky or wherever it is. That food that was created for us before we created our food or took it or changed it is better tasting, is sweeter,
it is
more savory, and it has more flavor than anything we can recreate or anything that can be man-made. And thank God for that.
Exactly. And you know what else? Thank God that the human body is able to heal.
Yeah.
I am so grateful that I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. And anybody out there watching, they can make changes too and, you know, be in top shape.
Yeah.
It takes work, but the thing is, you know, thank God we're able to heal too. And it's a good thing that we're able to adjust our taste buds too. And you have to give it a little time, but, you know, Mother Nature planned the perfect foods for us, and it's good that it comes back to us, you know, the flavor.
Absolutely. We are, it's amazing. I mean, that's one of the things I learn about every single day. It's just how blessed we are. Like, everything was set up for us. It's so simple. We overcomplicate something that was made so perfectly for us. The food, the air, the water, the trees, the wilderness, everything. We had this beautiful, beautiful world designed and built for us by something so much more sophisticated, so much smarter, and so much greater than us. And yet we still do whatever we can to go against it.
Yeah, that is so true. That really is.
When all we have to do is just follow its lead, follow what was made for us, follow the way it was supposed to happen, and that is when we will live healthier. That is when we will live happier. That is when life will be easier. But for some reason, we get so lost in all of these ideas or thoughts or perceptions of what things should be or ways things should taste or ways we should make things, and we want to control everything. We want to control our food. We want to control our macronutrients, our micronutrients. We want to turn our food into, you know, numbers. We want to turn our food into stats. And it's not like that. That's not the way it was made. That's not the way it was designed. It tastes sweet and it's colorful. I always say, go into the produce section, look at the color. Yeah. That color is not sprayed on. That color is not painted on, right?
Yep.
That color is not designed by us. We didn't choose those colors at a paint store, or we didn't design that packaging by an ad agency. That color, that beauty, that amazing rainbow, that was designed by something greater than us, and that is the most amazing thing. It is more colorful and
And
it's
it
more
shows through
beautiful.
our skin too.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I get it all the time. How did I get a tan or I'm glowing?
Yeah.
I get that all the time, and it really does show through too. If you're not eating healthy, I mean, people told me in some of my before pictures I look kind of gray. I didn't have much coloring.
Yeah.
You just can't hide a healthy diet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to hide it, and that's why everyone asks
Yeah,
you those questions, like, "What are you doing? How did you do
yeah,
it?"
exactly.
Because they want what you have, and there's certain instances and certain circumstances because minority will always get picked on, right? The minority will always get picked on. It's unfortunate, but it happens over and over again. So if you happen to be in the minority, but your minority is being healthy, your minority is being happy, your minority is being glowing, and everyone around you is suffering and is sick and is eating a standard American diet, everyone at the office is eating the cake but you, everyone at the office is eating the pizza but you
Right.
will be looked down upon. You will be frowned upon. Everyone at a bar is drinking alcohol but you, right? Everyone's going to ask you. I quit alcohol a
Right.
couple of years ago, and as soon as I quit drinking alcohol, everyone started to ask me, because I don't know if you knew this, but I was born and raised eating no meat and no fish. So I've never even tried meat or fish in my entire life. And
Right.
there was a lot of pressure.
That's
And so,
great. That's great.
yeah, and I'm so lucky to have such amazing parents who are so supportive.
You mind if I ask if your parents were they were vegan as well?
Yeah, so they were vegetarians. My dad was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and he visited a doctor named Dr. Swink. Dr. Swink is one of or I guess one of the original advocates for eating, a whole food plant-based diet, eating more of a plant-based diet.
I've heard of it.
He wasn't like fully about a plant-based diet, but he was definitely encouraging people to eat more plants, more fruits, low saturated fats, less animal products, less dairy, in order for people to, help heal MS, heal other diseases. So he, and it's not perfect. It's not going to make, your MS reverse, but it really does give a lot of people an opportunity to live a healthier and happier life. And so my dad was a patient of Dr. Swank, and then Dr. Swank obviously influenced Dr. McDougall, but my dad was with Dr. Swank, and he started to eat a plant-based diet, and my mom got pregnant with my brother. And my brother was born and raised a vegetarian because my mom, he's my older brother. So my mom had read books about veganism, about how veganism was the healthiest way to be pregnant and to do a pregnancy. Eating whole, fresh food was the best way to raise a kid and the best way to give birth to a kid. So she did it. She switched immediately when she became pregnant. And my dad switched when he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And so that's how they switched. Originally, it was for health reasons. My mom, in order to have the healthiest baby she could possibly have. My dad, in order to have a chance to fight a debilitating and devastating disease that he still suffers from today. So
And that's such an awesome story to share because so many mothers think that their babies will need dairy or they won't grow properly. I've heard comments like that, and you're living proof that you don't need dairy to to grow and live a healthy life.
And I think that's something that a lot of people are starting to realize now, is that a lot of things that we think and a lot of things that we believe and a lot of things that we were told are not necessarily based on truth or based on facts. And so it was amazing being raised that way and growing up that way. But, it's really when you get to the point where you realize and you come to this epiphany and you're surrounded by people as a kid that are all telling you, I'll give you $1,000 to eat meat. I'll give you $1,000 to take a bite out of a hot dog. I don't know if these fifth graders had $1,000 in their pocket or in their bank account. That would have been their mom's $1,000, but they're all offering you to pay you $1,000, $10,000, whatever it is, $1 million. I'll give you $1 million if you take a bite of this steak, just because I was different. You know what I mean? Was I more athletic than everyone else? Yes. Was I in better physical shape than everyone else? Yes. Was I excelling in school? I was the top of my class. But that didn't matter. All that mattered was that I did something different. Something different. Right. Even if it was eating healthier, being happier, glowing, it didn't matter because I was doing something different than culture. I was doing something different than the status quo. And that is just something that happens. And is it easy? No, it's not easy. It's not easy. I know it's not easy because you start to think, wait, am I doing something wrong? Wait, why is everyone else doing this other thing? And I just don't want to deal with the questions. I just don't want to deal with the constant pressure. I don't want to have to explain myself every time I'm eating a salad. I'm eating a salad because I care about myself, because I want to feel better, because I want to do this for myself, right? Because I'm going through a lot and I want to just live a little bit of an easier life, please.
Exactly.
But you get those outside pressures, and I dealt with my whole life. The pressure, the people constantly pressuring you, bugging you, and asking you, where do you get your protein from? Do you get enough calories?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the protein thing. Yep.
Right? People are asking you where you got your protein from. You just lost 150 pounds. You are gaining muscle. You are stronger than you've ever been. You are healthier than you've ever been. You are glowing. And you lost 150 pounds, and people are still asking you, where do you get your protein from? It is
crazy.
Ridiculous. The first thing you should ask them back is, where do you get your information from? Because the information that they are getting is false. It is a lie. Okay. If it's from the TV, if it's from an advertisement, if it's from a box on a store shelf, do not believe it.
Yep.
Because it's not based on fact. It's not based on science. It's not based on real food or anything. It's just something, a word, a buzzword, a keyword, or something that's causing people to buy that product. And that then gets passed on from generation to generation. It becomes a part of culture. And, so I dealt with all that pressure. So I know you're dealing with that pressure still, even though you're a living, walking proof.
It doesn't bother me, though, because I look at it as a way to educate others.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think even though I do get that pressure sometimes, I do think because I lost the weight, they also have respect for that, so they know that I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Even though they think they can't do it themselves, I get that a lot. They don't have that much discipline, they'll say, or they don't have that much willpower. But I think if you see somebody with success with it, it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you grew up with it, so it's. I can imagine as a kid, because a lot of kids can be bullies, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, the good thing, I mean, the
something's different.
Yeah, well, the advantage that we both have, and I think it helps, is that, and it could have been different set of circumstances for me. When you are the best in sports, when you are the best in school, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but when you are performing at a high level, then people start to say, okay, well, I need to start doing what he's doing. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to compete with him. So I had an advantage of, I was very the standard American jock, popular, very what people looked up to and wanted to aspire to. So they looked at my diet.
So they want to be doing what you're doing.
So it helps me a lot in that sense. That really almost was my saving grace, is that I was something that a lot of people looked up to, was someone that a lot of people aspired to be, or at least, thought highly of, or higher of, I guess. And that helped when people saw that I was eating that way. It was less, they would still joke around, and of course, and stuff, but it was more like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Okay, there's something working for him. You know what I mean? And I think that happens with you as well. Is even though people at the office might say, and they're saying now, oh, he's obviously not going to want cake, but they're also thinking, something's working for him. He's looking pretty good over there. He's performing pretty well. You know what I mean? And he's in the gym. He's looking strong. Secretly down deep, and it won't be so secret anymore. They'll make the switch. But you're inspiring them through your actions. They are looking up to you, and they're starting to say, okay, we're not going to say it's different or weird or strange. We're still a little confused, but now we're looking up to him, and now we're being inspired by him. And that's what really happens, is that it goes from this whole group mentality of, well, you're an outcast because you're eating healthy food, which I don't know how we got to this point where we did. And now it's okay, you know what? Hey, can you help me, man? I'm actually not doing so good. Actually, I went to the doctor and they said, I'm pre-diabetic. Actually, I'm not really that happy with my health right now. Can you help me? Because it seems like you're doing really well. And that's going to happen. I'm sure it's already happened. I'm sure a lot of people have already come to you for guidance.
Oh, yeah, I do get that. People want to lose weight. I get that all the time. Yeah. They do want to follow in the footsteps a lot of times.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing, and I think it's so great because, like you're saying, you don't love to come on camera, but you're here and you're on camera because it means that much to you, because it gave you your life back, and it gave you your mom's life back,
I do feel proud that I was able to transition.
Yeah.
When I hear so many people, stay on these meds, I hear different stories of people who have to go on meds, and they, I feel proud. I want to share my story because I want other people to know there's a different way. They don't have to go the conventional way of, take this med and you'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good to be unconventional.
And I bet you there are thousands and thousands of people that will listen to this, that will watch this, that will be in a situation where they are maybe taking 10 to 15 pills, or maybe they're being prescribed by their doctor pills, and maybe they're, I think it's very important to work with your medical professional, listen to your medical professional.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And not think that there's a magical pill or a magical anything that's going to help you. You need to work. Like, it's always important to take guidance from your medical professionals, listen to them, and work with them. And even if that's showing them like research and science, and like just saying, hey, is this an option? Just talking to them, just having a conversation with them. And like they've gone to a lot of school, they've learned a lot, and they want your best interest. They want to help you. They want to heal you.
Yeah,
so
just do what I did.
Yeah.
I told the doctor what I wanted to do, and I was surprised he agreed.
Yeah, I think most of them will agree, and I think more so now than ever before, because like I said, people, I try to say this a lot too, is people sometimes will say, well, all doctors are bad. That's not true. Doctors go to school, they go into a lot of debt. They are good people that went into a profession to help and heal people. And the sooner people start to realize that and start to stop saying, doctors are bad, they're just overprescribing us, they're this or that. It's not true. Doctors work super hard, nurses work super hard. They give up their lives to spend so much time studying, to go into so much medical debt, to go into so much pressure in order to help and heal us. Yep. It's just that they maybe weren't taught nutrition, but they're learning it now. When they're seeing people like you, when they're seeing people like me, when they're seeing thousands and thousands of people get healthier, feel better, going in with better results, and they start to say, what did you do? How did you do this? How did this happen? And people start to say, well, I just ate fruits and vegetables. Like, wait, what? You were pre-diabetic, now you're not diabetic anymore, and you just ate fruits and vegetables? Yeah, I just ate fruits and vegetables. Well, and then they say, okay, all right, well, they'll tell another patient, okay, well, you know what? I heard, not 100% for sure, but I'm researching it. I heard that if you just eat fruits and vegetables, you can do it. And that's what they're doing. And that's why
they're learning themselves.
Yeah, they're learning themselves. And I'm getting messages like crazy. I'm telling you, it's so amazing how many doctors right now are telling their people, you need to start eating fruits and vegetables. You need to start eating more of a plant-based diet. Yeah, and that's why they're coming, because now it's like, oh no, I've been eating McDonald's and Burger King and KFC my whole life. I don't even know what a fruit and vegetable looks like. And now my doctor just told me I need to start eating fruits and vegetables. Where do I begin? How do I start? How do I even turn it into a meal? I look at all these things and they're bright and they're colorful, but they're scary. Yeah, because I've been scared, right? And that's why they're coming to people like me or you or other people for guidance, and they're saying, hey man, my doctor told me this is the thing I need to do. This is the way I'm going to get my health back. This is an option for me. And I don't even know where to begin. And that's where, the guidance and the come in and say, hey, don't worry about it. Don't be perfect. Just give it your best shot. You're going to trip and you're going to fall, but just pick yourself back up and just go in there blind. Just go in there and have fun. Enjoy the fruits and vegetables. Try new ones. Take chances. Take risks.
I agree, yeah. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy it. Everything in there is healthy, right? The produce section is filled with all healthy fruits and vegetables. Every fruit and vegetable is healthy, even if you can't pronounce its name, right?
Exactly.
It's still a healthy fruit and vegetable. Right. So go in there, have some fun, enjoy them, try things you would have never tried before, knowing that no matter what, it is going to give you better results. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to increase your energy. So even if there's a fruit or vegetable you just can't eat, right? For some reason, you're just like, I can't get over the taste of this thing. At least you know that by biting that, many other foods,
but you didn't do any harm.
You didn't do any harm. You helped yourself. So I think that's really essential that people realize that it's a safe space, right? It's a big safe space full of healthy and good food that you can eat. So go have fun. Go wild. Go try a bunch of them. Go try it, right? Go try an orange you've never tried before with a weird name. Go try a melon you've never seen before. Go wild. Try a green you've never tried before. Some are sweet and some are bitter, right? And have fun. But go in open-minded, and I'm sure you had to do that as well. I'm sure that you had a preconceived idea of what some fruits and vegetables tasted like.
Oh, yeah. But, I love them all now. I can't think of one that I don't like, to be honest. But I can't imagine not trying something new now. It makes it fun, I think.
Yeah. What are some that you thought you would have never eaten that you're eating now?
That's a good question. Kale.
Kale. Yeah.
Kale's number one. Never would have appealed to me back then. Too much green, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, kale, probably broccoli. I think anything that was green, probably, I never would have liked back then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have believed I would have liked it.
Yeah. Now you can't stop eating it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's my go-to food now.
That's so cool. That's so awesome. And then the best part is that you're never going to have to go back to the way that picture was. You're never going to have to go back to the pain, the suffering, that moment that you were in that doctor's office and they told you had to do that, because you're eating real food now. You're not going to, you're at it. You found the perfect diet. You're eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. You're eating nuts and grains. You're eating seeds. You're eating all the good stuff. You're balanced. You're healthy. You're happy. You're enjoying what you're eating. You're having fun trying new things. You are willing to try.
I'm going to be doing a half marathon this year. You think I ever would have thought in my life that I'd be doing that? Never. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I keep setting new goals. I think that's what a lot of people should do as they're losing weight, even if it's small goals. Like if you have a lot of weight to lose, maybe shoot for 20 pounds. But it's important to keep goals always going. So I think that it keeps you going.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so as well. And everything in life, not just weight loss and work.
Exactly.
And you set goals. You have something to strive for. My mom always says, put it out into the world, right? Put it out into the atmosphere. Put it out, and then it will happen. But that's essentially setting a goal, right? You're putting out there what you want, and then you're subconsciously striving towards that goal. And that's why it's so essential to set goals. Maybe, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds first. Now I want to lose 40 pounds. Yeah, I want to lose 60 pounds. Don't make it an unachievable goal, because if you make it unachievable...
Yeah, I think that's what worked for me. I never looked at the whole picture when I was doing this.
Yeah, because then it's all off and you're like, whoa, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And that's the way you got to get to it, because you just got to win. You got to win. And I do that, like wins and losses things. I came with that for that exact same reason. Because even if you slip up, even if you fall down a couple times, you have to win. You have to celebrate your wins. You got to get some wins. And that's really how you're going to do it. But I think that's amazing, man. A half marathon, that's so cool.
I'm looking forward to it. It's not until June, but I'm preparing now for it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you are literally what I'm trying so hard every single day to get everyone in the world to aspire to be, right? I want people to be healthy. I want people to be happy. I want people to glow. I want people to run half marathons. I want people to inspire their families. I want people to inspire their coworkers and their friends. You are a living example of what I hope to see so many others achieve. And I think that's great that you came on here, and I appreciate your time. And you're doing what I always tell everyone. Once you figured it out, once you definitely figured it out, I mean, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner now is spot on. And you're going to the gym and you're looking great. So you've definitely figured it out. And then I always say, like, what you're doing is so important, because now you're going and telling other people. So keep doing that. Keep inspiring others. Keep telling other people, because, I mean, it's like I always say, do to others as if you would want done to yourself. Now that you have figured it out, now that you are healthy, now that you are happy, it's time to go tell someone else that's in the same situation that you were in. Yeah.
That's the reason for these videos, because I think it's important to get that message out that anybody can do this if they set their mind.
Yeah, and we could all be in their footsteps. You were in that situation.
Exactly.
So you know what it's like. You know what it was like to be there. You know what it was like to be in that doctor's office, and you know what it was like that you never want to do that again. So if you never want to do that again, you never want to have that happen to you again, then there's millions of people in that same situation that you were in. So there's a lot of work to be done, but really you just got to keep taking care of yourself, do the best you possibly can, and inspire those through your actions, and that's all you can do.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well,
I hope it inspires a lot of people out there.
Oh, I'm sure you're doing an amazing job. I mean, I found you because your post inspired me, so I think that's so great. So I wish you the best. Thank you so much for taking your time to do this.
Oh, thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you got some amazing stories, and I think it's so great that you're doing the fitness part of it as well, working out, going and doing 5Ks. I think that's so. I mean, not 5Ks. You're doing half marathons, which are really impressive. I got to come run one with you someday. I think it's so
Yeah,
amazing.
marathon will be next.
Yeah, that's so impressive. That's so impressive, and I think I don't know. It's just impressive. I don't know what other word to say is that you are doing an amazing thing. You're doing an amazing job, and you look great. And I wish the best for your mom, and I really wish the best for your dad. And I hope
maybe someday he'll convert.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
I don't know. Have him watch my videos. Maybe he can relate to me since I'm more of like. I think a lot of people are able to relate to me because I am such like the standard American guy that like it helps some people that maybe were on the fence that were maybe more like, oh, but it's more of like a counterculture movement, or oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. When they see me, it's more like, okay, he was like in a frat, he was a high school football star, he did all these things that you wouldn't think, right? Culture or societal, and plant-based Gabriel's the same way. He was a Nebraska football player. But
I know the story too.
You start to see these people that you would think like everyone thought I would eat meat. Everyone, if you had guessed, anyone had guessed what I ate, they would say he's a steak and potatoes guy. He eats meat. But it wasn't the case. I was eating fruits and vegetables. I was eating the potatoes. They were right. But I wasn't eating the steak. And that's why we use these perceptions of culture. We use these perceptions of what we think things should be and think things ought to be. But it's not true. What we need to be is healthy. What we need to be is eating real food. What we need to do is stop trying to control things and stop trying to put our stamp on things. Stop trying to say things need to be this way or that way. We need to have protein, or we need to have a certain amount of calories. We need to eat real food.
Isolated protein.
We just need to eat real food. We just need to eat the thing that was greater than us, the thing that we didn't have control over, the thing that was here before we got here. The perfect food, the perfect water, the stuff that makes you feel better, the stuff that makes you glow. It doesn't matter if you are a steel worker in Michigan. It doesn't matter if you are a surfer in Hawaii. Eating real food goes across all spectrums, from all professions to all livelihoods to all parts of the world. It is just that simple. It does not have, it's not like, oh, you're healthy. We're eating real food. Healthy needs to be something that is prideful. Healthy needs to be something that is looked upon positively, not joked upon, because it is a very serious thing.
Totally agree.
All right, man. Well, have an amazing night. And
you too.
Keep up the great work and stay in touch. Let's stay in touch.
Oh, I definitely will. I enjoyed the interview.
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
so much for letting me share my story.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's late there, so get some sleep. And thanks for sharing your story. And I'm sure so many people. I'm sure so many people are so appreciative of you sharing your story. Like seriously, it takes a lot to tell your story. I get so many private messages from people about like, oh, I lost 80 pounds, or can you please not share this with anyone? And I respect that more than anything in the world. Look, you in no way, shape, or form have to share your success, right? This is about you. This is about you taking care of yourself. This is about you getting healthier and happier. But I get so many messages of that. I please don't share this with anyone. Here's what I look like and here's what I am now, and thank you so much. I appreciate everything you've done for me. But please, and I respect the hell out of it, because I know how hard it was for them to change, and I respect their privacy. I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to all of a sudden go, oh my God, this person lost 60 pounds.
For me, it's like pay it forward.
Yeah, pay it forward. Okay. But it's everyone's process. People, just by losing the weight, just by feeling better, are paying it forward without even knowing it, right? Your parents, without even knowing it, your parents, by taking all those prescription pills, paid it forward to you because you realized you didn't want to eat those or take those prescription pills. So it can come in so many different shapes, and it can come into so many different forms. And your own success can be inspiring and change other people's lives and help other people, sometimes without even having to say a word, sometimes without even having to share your story. But, for people that are able to share it, I think that's great as well. And I think it's amazing. So I think people really appreciate it, because I think a lot of people were in the situation that you're in, or are in the situation that you're in, and maybe they felt lost today. Last time we did a live stream, someone sent me a message and they said, I was about to eat a whole pizza pie. I swear to God, this is true. I got a message. I was about to eat a whole pizza pie. I literally shut the lid on the pie, and I threw it in the dump. I mean, the dump, where it was a garbage can, I think she said. Yeah. But she literally took her pizza pie. She had a pizza pie. She slammed the top, threw it in the garbage. She sent me a picture and a message after the last live stream because she got inspired. And it was Adam Sudd. I don't know if you know him. He came on and talked.
Oh, yeah, I know Adam well.
Yeah, he's a great guy too. Another really nice guy. And how great is that? Like, that's just one of so many messages that we get. But someone literally Adam had that effect on someone right there on the spot, you know. So it is inspiring, and it is really, really kind of amazing. So, but we'll stay in touch.
Definitely.
All right. Have a great night.
Yep, you too.
Okay, bye.